Give you two quotes in this video. First of all, from David Haye, and then secondly from Richard Schaefer. All right. First of all, David Haye says he has time against him in one aspect. He's 31 years of age, but I know firsthand, I've seen what he can do to some very high level world-class professional boxers. Joe was sparring with Hughie Fury a couple of weeks ago. He sparred with Anthony Joshua before the Vladimir Klitschko fight, and he gave a very, very good account of himself. He's 10-round fit today. He could fight in a 10-round fight in a week's time against pretty much anybody in the world, and he would probably win. He is that good. He doesn't need the little 4-rounders against guys from wherever who just turn up. He doesn't want to waste a year hitting people with one shot and then falling over. He wants to do 8, 10-rounders straight away. He is that advanced. So those are the words of David Haye. I'm now going to quote Richard Schaefer. He says, if you look at the top 10, 15, or 20 ranked heavyweights today, there are only 2 I wouldn't put him in with right now: Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. All the others I would have no problem with. He needs 5 or 6 fights before we can put him in with Wilder or Joshua. So again, those are the words of Richard Schaefer. Are David Haye and Richard Schaefer raving mad? Have they lost their marbles? Are they smoking the strong stuff? Or is what they're saying reasonable? They're talking about Joe Joyce, obviously, the signing to Haymaker or Haymaker Ring Star. I'm not sure if Richard Schaefer has a hand in Haymaker's dealings in the UK, or whether the Haymaker Ring Star is just a collaboration that they do from time to time. I understand that they do have a joint company, but the exact ins and outs of the way the company works, I don't know. So, for example, I'm not sure how much input Richard Schaefer has with Joe Joyce. Maybe it's completely 50-50 when it comes to dealing with Joe Joyce, or maybe one of you can explain to me the exact particulars of the relationship between David Haye and Richard Schaefer, because I know Richard Schaefer has certain promotions which he just calls Ring Star. He don't call them Haymaker Ring Star, etc. Anyway, is what they're saying reasonable in terms of moving Joe Joyce this quickly? Joyce is a vastly experienced amateur, an Olympian. He was in the World Series of Boxing, or whatever it's called, the World Boxing Series, which is like a semi-professional league or tournament or whatever it is. That's the thing that he fought in when he went up against Alexander Usyk. And again, that's kind of like a semi-professional thing. So he does have experience going longer than 3 rounds. That's what I can say, because the World Boxing or the World Super Series of Boxing or World Series of Boxing, whatever the hell it's called, I'm sure somebody will correct me below. That's longer than 3 rounds. I can't remember how many rounds it is. It might be 5 rounds or something like that, 6 rounds. But it's definitely longer than 3 rounds. So yeah, they think that he's ready to do 8 and 10 rounders right now. And he probably is, to be honest. He probably is. I don't know what level of opposition he's ready to do 8 and 10 rounders against right now, but he's probably ready to be in 8 and 10 rounders. I wouldn't doubt that. As far as him fighting the likes of Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder in 5 or 6 fights, to me, it's kind of like, I can understand where they're coming from, to be honest, because I'm not sure how much you can improve Joe Joyce in terms of his style. I don't think you can take him apart and put him back together as a trainer. I think he's too old for that at this point. And his style is what it is. He's not the most athletically gifted guy. And that's not to say he's not in shape. He's in great shape. But he's a slow, mechanical, robotic kind of guy. He's never going to be someone with Deontay Wilder or even David Haye or Anthony Joshua, Vladimir Klitschko level athleticism. He's never going to be like that. He's always going to be a robotic and slow guy. So how much can you really do with him? How much can you really alter his technique or his style? I don't think you can alter it much. And therefore, if you're talking about putting him in 8 and 10 rounders, it's just a question of, is his fitness ready for that? And I think his fitness is ready for that. Is he psychologically ready for that? I think he is psychologically ready for that. He fought the top guys in the amateurs and in the World Series of Boxing. So I think he is psychologically ready to be doing 10 rounders against fairly decent level opposition right now. I do think he is. And because of his age, you have to move him quickly. Joyce probably wants to be moved quickly for one. And for two, Schaefer and Hay probably want to try and make, make some money out of him before he gets beat by someone that is not a world champion. So let's try and get him to the title as quickly as possible, make our money, and then we've got a return on our investment. I know that sounds cynical, but like I said in the Don Charles video, this is a business at the end of the day. David Hay is not helping Joe Joyce out of the goodness of his heart. he's not, promoting Joe Joyce for free. Yeah, he's doing it for money. And that's perfectly okay. I'm not demonizing anybody who does that necessarily, as long as they're paying the fighter fair. And to be thinking the way David Hay's thinking, in this particular instance, I understand it. If he is indeed thinking this way, of thinking, you know what, he's old, he's kind of slow and robotic, he might get beat by somebody else, let's try and get him to the world title shot ASAP. Again, it's like, what else are you going to do with Joyce? Are you really going to give him 20 fights against knockover jobs? And by the time he fights for a world title, he's going to be what, 35? Is that what you're going to do? Or are you going to try to strike while the iron is hot? He's still young enough now. And again, he's slow for a heavyweight. He's not going to get faster. He's only moving away from his athletic prime from now on. He's not moving towards it. So I can understand them moving him quickly, to be honest with you. Even though it sounds dramatic, talking about Joshua and Wilder in 5 or 6. Now, I don't think he's going to beat Joshua or Wilder in 5 or 6 fights, but I can understand them going for it in this particular instance. As mad as it sounds, I can understand it. If you had a more athletically gifted fighter than Joyce, who was at the same age, I would actually say take a bit more time with him. But I just can't see what they can do with him, like, from a technical point of view. I don't think he's athletically gifted enough to really be changed that much. And he's been fighting that way, the way he fights now, for his whole amateur career. I think he just is what he is. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Maybe you disagree with me. And if you do, that's fine. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why you think I'm wrong and what you think a better alternative scenario would be for him. He's not a kid. He's mentally mature at 31 years old. Certainly more so than a young guy coming into the game in his early 20s. So probably anyway. Not everybody mentally matures at the same rate, but you get the point I'm making. So let me know what you think, people. If you haven't done so already, make sure you click the notification bell below this video. It should be next to the subscribe button, and you'll receive alerts for all my future uploads. Also, appearing on screen right now or in a few moments should be a selection of 4 other videos I've recorded recently. If you haven't seen those videos already, you might want to take a look at them. So thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down, share this video, rate this video, favorite this video, do something with this video. All right, it's happening. I'm out.